quite a... So Bosenjak, who wants to pit in car number 8, apparently has a problem with his radio. Now, as Neil Crompton was saying, a pit stop, David Rose, welcome to the microphone, but a pit stop at this time, allegedly halfway through the Mazda stint. They've got a big tank on these cars, and by comparison with the Porsche 911 that has a 74-litre tank, the BMW M3R that decided, or whose backers decided they'd better not run it, which has 65 litres. The Mazda RX-7 has 110 litres. So two things. It'll be interesting to see what sort of time in hours and minutes they can get out of a tank full on the Mazdas. But as we saw John Bowe there, just loading his car up and getting a little bit dirty. But it'll be interesting to see too, as I say, just how long the car will go between pit stops and how long the pit stops have to be in the dual fillers that they've got on the Mazdas. But down in the pits is John Smales.
Was that the radio, in fact, is not working. The pits can't talk to the Mazda. So the Mazda simply flashed its lights to say it could hear them. The team, of course, geared up, ready for a pit stop, but the pit stop won't occur because it was simply a radio problem.
Well, that's a problem the team certainly doesn't need at this stage of the race. It's fine to say we have one-way communications. I guess that's at least a 50% chance that the things... well, it's a problem they certainly don't need. As far as the pit stop situation is concerned, I understand that the Mazdas are hoping to go about an hour and a half, perhaps an hour 40. But, of course, Alan Horsley is about to bring out his secret weapon. Do you know about that one, Will? It's been under a shroud for a couple of days. There's been all sorts of spies running around the Mazda camp. And
fuel fillers.
Fuel fillers, but the frozen fuel. Alan has, it's the great Aussie fuel filling system. They're going for not quite frozen fuel, but almost. It's a very elaborate system down there. We have the normal fuel filling situation, but the fuel is actually pumped through what looks to be like a good old Aussie temperite, a giant esky. Fuel will be pumped through that. All of the tank and the fuel that's standing by to be pumped into the main tank is in this huge bucket, which is filled with dry ice. So we've had certainly this frozen fuel, which of course means compressed fuel, which means you can get more into the fuel tank. That's been used in Formula 1 and other applications before, but only in a start situation. What Alan Horsley and his team are planning to do is do it all of the day. All of their fuel will be on standby just above freezing point. The whole idea being they can fit more fuel in. When asked if it was going to be like advantage or a huge advantage, Alan Horsley said it will be a huge advantage to the Mazda team. He has already worked out what sort of advantage it will be in terms of how many more litres they can get into the car, but he's not prepared to say. Suffice to say that they're very happy about it. They're not really concerned that other teams might go and look at it now because it's taken them several months to develop and to build. So that might be just the situation, the advantage that the Mazda team need.
Well, John Bowe's in a hell of a rush at the moment. He's doing 43s, 2s, low 43s, and being pushed by John Smith as they come around to lap Mark Brame again in the car that he'll share with Darren Palmer, and I think we might see a lead change here. I think John Smith wants to become the third race leader, and with the possibility that Porsche will have to pit before Mazda, for probably two reasons. Probably fuel. Although the Mazda is a turbo and therefore potentially fairly thirsty, a much bigger tank and a 3.8-litre engine in the Porsche, which is pretty substantial. The car's only 2 kilograms different in weight, 12.20 for the Porsche and 12.18, 2 kgs lighter for the Mazda RX-7 SP.
And suggestions that the Porsches are a little harder on tyres, Well.
Yes, they're 18-inch wheels on those, so the only tyre available that fits them and the size that they need, the profile and the 235 width, is a Falcon tyre. And they have had some problems with them. I mean, the stress that you can get into those tyres, the speed they're coming off the straight here, is just phenomenal. For the Porsches, it's a 5th gear corner in their 6-speed gearbox. For the Mazdas, it's a 4th gear in their 5-speed gearbox. And as I say, it commands your attention, that corner off the straight. It's a busy sort of a time. They come up to the hairpin and in the Porsches get back to 2nd gear. And as we see, John Smith definitely wanting his way round John Bowe.
Yes.
So they've